It's Sunday morning, and I have a message. And the title of today's message is What's in a Name? And so I cannot express to you how important your name is. And so your name is like your reputation. And let's not pretend that we've all been perfect and that we don't have a past, that we haven't done anything, because we have. Um, but we're forgiven and we're given that blank slate. And so we don't have to continue over and over to live our mistakes. We have to learn from our mistakes, but we don't have to continue to live on them. We're forgiven for that. So, but you know, our name is important. Your name and your reputation was enough, right? Your reputation and your word were a bond. And so, like nowadays, in order to get out of jail, you have to pay a bond, right? But your word and your reputation, your name was your bond back in the day. Like, because when people said something, they meant that thing. If they said they were going to do something, they did that something. If they, if, all right, so I don't want to go off on a tangent on that, but a name is very, very important. And so the Bible uses names to denote many things. And so we know that Judah was a man. He was the son of Israel or Jacob. But Judah is also like a territory because God gave each of the tribes a territory. So Judah is also a territory. So a name can be a person or a place. A name can be can show where you're from, right? So um, Peter was Simon Bar Jonah, or son of. Jesus was Jesus Bar Joseph, son of. A name can be changed. So Jacob's name wasn't really a good name. Like his name was Trickster. So we know that he was a trickster until we find out where he gets these tendencies from his uncle Laban, which was, I think, Rebecca's brother. Yeah, Rebecca's brother was awful. And although he was a better trickster than his uncle, we see where that tendency comes from. It was from his mama side of the family. Um, a name can be a territory. It can denote your who your father is. Your name can also, so it was always the father's name also that your lineage was. So in the lineage of Jesus, there's two of them. And in one of them has Joseph. And so I did a little research and learned that Joseph was actually blood related. Um, Mary was raised by her uncle. It was an uncle that her and Joseph shared. And so all their dads were brothers to this uncle. And so Mary's family, mom and dad died, and she was raised by an uncle. And so that uncle, I can't think of his name, can't think of it. That uncle was named father to Joseph because he was actually father to Mary. So Jesus was named by his father, even though that's his earthly father, he was still in that line, that bloodline. A name can denote what you do, like a smith, right? A name can denote who you are, like remember Jael. She was married to someone of a different, from someone of a different nation, but her name tells you who she was. Remember Jabez. Jabez's name, it wasn't a good name, but he went and praying to God, and God enlarged his territories. Like God ended up blessing him. So even though he wasn't born with a good name, that that name changed. Also, when God was elevating people, so when God elevated Abram, he was elevated to Abraham, and his wife went from Sarai to Sarah. Also, that happened with Jacob. When he elevated him, he became Israel. Um, so it can denote your position in God's house. A name, so a name can be reputation and character. And this says divine identity and covenant. So that would be Abraham, Sarah, and Jacob. Oh, so in Jesus' name, we have authority and dominion. And so in Jesus' name, we can cast out demons. In Jesus' name, we can heal the sick. In Jesus' name, we are very powerful, not on our own, not because of anything we do. In Jesus' name. And so in Jesus' name again, we're Christians and we're a family grafted in to God's family. So in Jesus' name, we are Christians. A name is so important, and a good name is very important. And so this is going to be short. This is a story that I told my daughter. Before she was born, there was a cousin. She had a cousin, and he was a very prolific drug dealer, I guess back in the crack days. And he was notorious. And I said, had you have been born in Camden, then there would be a different expectation upon you, maybe not as high of an expectation upon you. But she went to school in Clayton, and there the kids in the family were like straight A's athletes. And so that was the expectation put on my daughter. So, where in one place her name would have left one set of expectations, here there were high expectations for her. And so that is how important a name is. And so that is how important your name is. And the kids that have your name, that is how important it is to maintain a good name and a good reputation out in the world. All right, well, it's all in the name. Join us again next time when In Its Will Ministries International presents It's Sunday Morning. Until then, bye.